Now, here is something interesting that I didn't know existed. Apparently, Facebook is not going to fact check Trump anymore after he announced his candidacy. The reason for this is that the company claims they don't want to get involved into political speech. So this includes people who are running for office, people who are holding office, as well as their close entourage. And it also is including not to just what people say, but to the campaign videos that they post, to the ads that they're making. And I find this very interesting and quite hilarious. I mean, okay, so you don't intervene in political speech, but on the other hand, you ban the sitting US president. I mean, yeah, clearly unbiased. And also, I love the bullshit regarding the fact checking thing. It's like, okay, so we don't fact check politicians, things that they say, things that they show in ads and whatnot. Like, we don't touch those. But they will fact check the policy that politicians implement. I mean, if we seen anything during the pandemic, they do fact check the policy. It wasn't the science. It was like the political policy that came from them. It's like, okay, well, let's shut down all the businesses. It's like, you can't argue with that on social media in the beginning. If you said anything about that, you'd have gotten in trouble on many platforms. So there is that hypocrisy. Now, I do not agree with fact-checking, which is a very recent phenomenon, a very American, dare I say, invention, which translates to censors. That's what fact-checkers are. They are censors. A censor used to be an office position that existed in the Roman Empire, and his duty was to remove things that were considered to be improper for the general public. So in his infinite wisdom, the censor would decide if a work of art, a statue, or a poem, a writing, is not fit for public consumption. And he would protect the public from that. That's the definition of a censor. This is pretty much what the fact checkers are doing. Now, if you look at how to become a fact checker, I think I made a video about it. There's an entire process which involves you paying a tax of $200 to a group of people that are extreme far to the left when it comes to their political opinions. And those people are going to investigate you. There are then different people based on the geographical region you are. So, for example, for Romania, there is a lady which is going to then check my Facebook page, which from what I read had some of the most radical and extremist far-left takes ever imaginable, especially for Romania. And she would look at your social media activity, at your Facebook page, and then say if you're allowed or not to become a fact checker. So it's a very inclusive club, which you need to pay money in order to get there. And once you are a fact checker, you are allowed to be wrong. So regarding the Hunter Biden scandal or during the pandemic, well, if you're wrong, who the fuck cares? Now, apparently, there is such a thing as an audit. So, like, if you're really wrong on something and people make a stink about it, then you get a re-review by the same people that gave you the original fact-checking, and then they can take it away from you. So that's what happens with Facebook. And by the way, like, this whole thing with fact-checking, funny how they're not fact-checking crypto like FTX, right? Like, they're telling you, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't invest. Like, they're not fact-checking when you want to buy a house or something like that. No, they're only fact-checking when it's about stuff like your liberty and freedoms. Like, during the pandemic, you'd say, well, I'm not really comfortable with the fact that you're shutting down all the businesses because there might be an economic downturn coming down the way. I'm not happy with you printing so much money because you might cause inflation. I don't like this Hunter buy the laptop scam. Oh, well, then they fact-check, right? Like, when it's that type of thing. But when it's things that can influence your life, like, for example, making a loan before an economic downturn, they don't give a shit. They don't fact-check that. Yeah. It's a very disgusting system, and I'm really curious if put to vote how many people would have liked it. But I guess they're not interested in fact-checking regarding political issues because Meta is now losing a lot of money. All eyes are on Twitter, but Zuckerberg is also running his company into ruin. And they need people right now. They're desperate for users, right? Because that's their money-making scheme. That's where they harvest the data from. So they want right-wingers on the site, and they want left-leaning people in the site. And in order to accomplish that, they have to give the illusion of fairness. They have to pretend that they're at least somewhat objective and that they're somewhat in the middle. And if they would allow their fact checkers to run rampant, given the political affiliation of the fact checkers, they would only fact check people on the right, which is pretty much what used to happen on Facebook until Elon Musk took over. So they don't want that, because if they do that, the right-wingers would leave. And given the demographic of Facebook, I'm really shocked that it is not a right-wing platform by now, because most of the people who use Facebook are boomers. There aren't that many young people using this platform. Like, most young people are now on TikTok. They're using other platforms. So yes, like Facebook, if it was really allowed to do its business without the FBI breathing down its neck, it would probably be a very right-wing platform. Especially when their demographic is declining. So probably this is why Zuckerberg is trying his best in order to, like, okay, we're not going to get fact checkers on politics. And it's probably why he also told the FBI that, yeah, we're not going to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story, but we will down rank it in the algorithms. That's what they did. And I assume it's to please their constantly aging fan base. Also, Facebook isn't used in the United States. Like, I'm sure that a lot of my subscribers would point this out. It's like, oh, I don't use Facebook. It is very popular in Europe. Here in Romania, it is the most popular platform. So it depends on country to country, right? Like, I notice a lot of people in the US, they believe that what happens in the US is the same in other places. Like, for example, Twitter is almost non-existent in Romania. Like, almost no one uses it. However, Facebook, it is very popular, and it's very popular not just for personal websites and checking the news. It is popular for businesses. This is what happened in other countries when they tried to fuck with Facebook. Spain, for example, they tried to pass legislation to make Facebook pay a link tax for all of their, for all of the journalists that would have their articles posted on Facebook. They would have to get some money. And Facebook said, oh, if you do this, we're pulling out. And the countries panicked, like, because they realized that most of their economy is reliant on Facebook. You have all these small businesses, this mom and pop store, which advertise on Facebook, and they require the website to be running. So, yeah, just because it's not popular in the United States doesn't mean it's not popular in other places. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care. Oh, and I almost forgot. See, this is why I don't do sponsorship. Like, if I did sponsorship, holy crap. Like, I would forget this and I would get in a lot of trouble. I do need to sponsor myself, though. There's a link into the pinned comment if you want to support this channel. You know, Christmas is coming. I gotta start getting presents for the family and folks. So I'm a little bit more greedy than usual, because usually I don't ask people to support this channel, but now I do. Now you know why. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care.